The highly successful partnership of director Neil Jordan and producer Stephen Woolley, who brought to the screen such films as The Crying Game, An Interview with a Vampire, join forces once again on The End of the Affair. This powerful story of love, betrayal and sexual jealousy is an adaptation of Graham Greene's novel and stars Oscar nominees Ralph Fiennes, Julianne Moore and Stephen Ray.
Casting is always, you take a leap in the dark, you know, and it works out. You're thrilled, and if it doesn't, you make it work, you know. In this case, it was extraordinary because I realized making this film, I had never done a film in which there was not a wild card. There was not somebody playing a major part who had never acted before. I realized, my God, I could push these people to anywhere you want to go, you know what I mean? And they could still do it, you know. So it was a very lovely experience for me.
Ralph is a tremendously present actor. It's just one of the best things about acting when you get to work with somebody and it sort of transforms what you were even planning on doing by working with them.
They all are absolutely perfectly pitched for these parts, and I think Neil's set is a very generous one in which he gives the actors space to try out different kinds of things in different takes. And I feel that all of us have responded to that atmosphere in a good way.
The thing about Neil is that he's a great narrator. All his movies have a wonderful narrative and a very strong narrative, a great spine through the film that makes it possible to act kind of less than you have to with other stories where the narrative isn't as clear. I mean, an audience is not in doubt. Sarah, this is our neighbour, the novelist chap.
What on earth is a novelist doing here?
Research.
On what?
On your husband. I need to find out his habits, what he drinks before bedtime.
Cocoa.
And when.
11 o'clock, isn't it, Sarah? Unless we're entertaining.
What really attracted me to the project, in a way, it's what attracts me to every movie that I ever do, is that there's some mystery going on there. There's something that you can't explain in terms of ordinary logic.
How can anyone be jealous of Henry?
He has you.
I don't.
We inhabit the same house, that's all. You know that. I'm the shadow he walks around.
I've come on behalf of the husband. He thinks she's deceiving him. She has secrets.
Bendrick certainly is not a hero at all, and I mean, both he and Sarah are adulterous lovers.
Well, it's the great love of her life. I mean, he turns out to be the person that she loves more than anything and will love more than anyone for the rest of her life. So it is, you know, it's a transforming relationship.
I'm staggered by Julianne Moore. She is what we call a great actress, and a sheer pleasure to work with. And I knew Ralph before, briefly socially, and I think he's tremendous in it. And I don't know, I think the balance between the three of us is good.
I know I haven't been much of a husband to you, my dear.
We are good friends.
You could do without a friend.
You sort of feel like you're dealing with this triangular relationship, you know, with Bendrix and Henry and Sarah. It's very complicated that way, but I don't find it old-fashioned. I think it's quite relatable and universal, actually.
Do I exist for you when you're with Henry?
Yes.
Isn't that why you stay with Henry? Because you know this will end.
No.
Their sexual life was connected with the Blitz, you know. It gave them the opportunity to see each other and to make love in the afternoon and night, you know. And a bomb hit the house when he was downstairs. She went downstairs and he was dead, like physically dead. And she went upstairs and in a fit of panic she prayed and she said, "Dear God, let him live, and if he lives I'll never see him again."
I'll give him up forever. Only please, let him be alive.
Basically, it's about a promise. She has asked God to spare the life of someone that she loves. So in a sense, it may appear to be a personal sacrifice, but it might be, but the outcome is that you've lost the person forever, so to speak. So, I mean, that's what the dilemma is.
Love doesn't end just because we don't see each other.
Doesn't it?
People go on loving God, don't they, all their lives, without seeing him.
That's not my kind of love.
Maybe there's no other kind.
It's beautiful and it's moving, it's intense, and it's a very grand scope.
It's entertainment on one level. What will happen to the lovers? Will he get the girl? Will she get the man or not? Or what will the husband find out? There's that rather superficial thriller element to it, but there's also just the age-old questions of what is the right thing to do or not to do. Do we follow our instincts? Do we go with our passions? And I think these are questions everyone across the board, whatever background they come from, whatever their tastes, these things invade their lives at some point.
I've only made 2 promises in my life. One was to marry Henry. The other stopped seeing you. And I'm too weak to keep either.
I found this great to be working in this movie because there was no violence and it was all sex. This film is actually about the real texture of people's lives, you know, and their real dilemmas and it's about the question of how far does love go.
I would rather be dead or see you dead than with another man.
I will never, ever be with another man.
So there's something to report?
Oh, it's not quite a blank sheet, sir.
You've been properly led up the garden path, Henry.
Can't you see that what you've done is monstrous?